Hello, my name is Daniel Loper, and for my proposed AI solution, I am recommending a recommendation agent for Good Food Hospitality. All right, so just a little bit about Good Food Hospitality Group. Okay, so they operate in Placetown, all right, and they have 7 unique restaurant concepts. Okay, so this is their strategy. Their strategy is to elevate different styles of cuisine. So rather than having one restaurant concept which becomes a chain and spreads outward, they are operating multiple unique concepts, but elevating those particular styles of food. Okay, now they also are really focused on hospitality. They want to really build relationships and offer individualized experiences to their clientele. So as I thought about the business problems that we would create an AI solution for, I thought about what are the revenue drivers of a restaurant business. Okay, so to drive up revenue, there's really 3 main steps. Number 1, we want our current customer base to visit the restaurant more frequently. Okay, and so this can be done with various incentive programs and loyalty programs to keep the customer engaged in that particular restaurant group. Secondly, we want more money to be spent when those customers do show up. So this can be done by recommending upgrades and recommending maybe alcoholic beverages that pair nicely with the food that they're ordering. And lastly, we want to bring in new customers. We want to be able to get new people to come to the restaurant. Those 3 things are what we want our AI solution to help accomplish. All right, so like I said, just like there's 3 revenue drivers, there's 3 things we want our AI solution to be able to do. Again, we want it to be able to offer individualized product recommendations. We want it to be able to have incentive programs to keep those customers engaged and coming back. And thirdly, we want to have an increased likelihood of high reviews, right? So it's well known that seeing high reviews on things like Yelp and Google will actually bring in new customers. When customers are looking for a new restaurant to try, they're going to want to choose one that has high reviews rather than one that has low reviews. Now, before we get into the specifics of the AI solution, we need to have a good understanding of the data and the IT architecture facing Good Food Hospitality. Okay, so first of all, they outsource all of their data work and their IT architecture, right? So there's no in-house systems that are built. Now, those 3 systems that they do use, number 1, they have a POS system. All right, so that POS system is where you're going to have your inventory and your sales data, right? So think about the receipts that are generated whenever a customer goes to pay for their bill. This is stored in the POS system, this data. The second is the reservation system. So if I'm a customer and I call a Good Food Hospitality restaurant, and I say I'd like to make a reservation, the host or the server who's speaking with me will ask questions and be able to generate a profile about me so that whenever I arrive for that reservation, they have already taken notes to where they can tailor the experience based on that first interaction we had on the phone. And third, there's a review system. So whenever I get finished eating, I can scan a barcode, and this will allow me to write a review, and you'll get to see what those reviews look like in a minute. Now, like I said, those 3 different areas where they store their data are operated by 3 different companies, and so there's not a lot of good integration between the 3. But what I am proposing is that they create a hybrid recommendation agent, hybrid, as opposed to just a content-based or just a collaborative recommendation agent. We would like a hybrid one in this situation because of the data that they have, right? So they have food and beverage data, right? So if you have a detailed description of your food and beverages, this is the content side. You also have the customer profile, which needs to be matched, right? So we're matching customers with food and beverage. That's how we're going to make those recommendations and increase our revenues. And also we have those customer reviews. So again, we want to maximize those reviews, and so we can understand the linkage between a customer's profile and their food with regards to what leads to higher reviews, right? So that's the idea, is to tie all 3 systems together with this recommendation agent. Right, so here's an example of the data, right? We've got the customer data, right? How many visits this customer's made, what time they got there, their age, their sex, all these sorts of things. We also have on, let's say, their fourth visit, we have what they ordered. Okay, so they ordered nachos, beer, and pizza and everything. Now, for each of those order items, we have descriptions. Okay, so look at the nachos, for example. The nachos have these ingredients and these attributes. Okay, so we want to match the customer attributes, again, with those food attributes so that we maximize our review scores. Okay, so you can see whenever you review, it's on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay, you can review the service, the appetizer, the meal, right? And so we can try to understand the linkage between what they order and those reviews. Now, this hospitality group does not have any employees who could do this AI, right? We don't have any data scientists, even any IT staff. And so for that reason, they're going to need to buy more so than build this AI solution. And so this means the good managers need to stay abreast of the top options out there. So these POS systems and these reservation systems, companies need to be on the lookout for companies who implement AI into those programs so that we can drive revenues in the restaurants, right? So that's the goal, is for the managers to be on the lookout for these different AI techniques being offered, and for them to purchase those softwares. All right, so thank you very much for this class, and I hope that you enjoyed this presentation.